Alright guys, I want to talk to you about a subject that is on my heart. I've been thinking about here for a few days and kind of let you know some things. We've been doing this, we've been out homesteading now for about 3 years. This is a hard way of life that we've chosen. We've chosen to move off grid, to try to start a homestead. We don't have any homesteading experience. We weren't taught how to preserve food by our parents. We weren't taught about hunting. We weren't taught about slaughtering animals. We weren't taught about raising cows, milking, any of that stuff. And all this stuff is what we're endeavoring to do. So all of it's a very steep learning curve for us over these last 3 years. It's just things that we've learned via YouTube, videos, DVDs, books, and just talking to a lot of people, asking lots of questions. So how do you keep it all together when it's so difficult, when life is so hard? You know, I've been working full time now for a little over a year, and I've been putting in about 45 to 55 hours a week. That in itself has a lot of challenges, especially for my wife and the children. So I want to share, I think, what is a secret of success. Our family still loves each other. We still love each other. My wife and I love each other. My children love me and I love them, and they know it. And that's mainly what I want to talk about. But before I get to that, let me give you some background. We've had some hard times here. We went through some very difficult things. Moving off grid has a lot of challenges just in and of itself, especially when you have newborn children. We had Naomi here in our cabin. That was craziness. I caught her. That was not the plan, but that happened and it went well. We were thankful and blessed by how it went. In our first year here, we had goats. We had heard that goats were good, a good intro animal. So we had a little herd of goats and they were terrible. Goats and I did not get along. A couple things I found out. The goats, they fly well, but they do not land gracefully. This happened twice. They broke into our garden and were eating our fruit trees and all kinds of stuff. They would not stay out of the areas that we didn't want them in. And there were milking goats. They were dwarf Nigerians. And we couldn't milk them. They were terrible milkers. It was awful. It just didn't work, so we sold them all. And we learned from that goats weren't for us. Okay, so another thing that happens with the goats, one time I was going into their area. We had electric netting, fence. I was going in with food and water, carrying the buckets. And as I opened it up, I knew this one goat was gonna try to get out, so I was trying to keep her in, and she bolted out. And so I dropped the food and water, everything. I sprinted after her, and just before she outraced me, I dove and caught her back leg, and then she dragged me for a little ways. And then after she stopped, because I stopped because I only could slide so far, she could only drag me for so long. Then I got up and I picked her up by that same leg and her collar and was carrying her back. Now, she wasn't comfortable when I was doing that. I was furious. I was so mad. And my wife comes out and she's like, "Don't kill her, don't kill her, she's papered," you know. And I'm like, and I looked at my wife, she's like, "Okay, we'll get rid of the goats." And I'm like, "Okay, that's a good idea." And so that's what we did. We had heard that geese are good in orchards. So we did that. We had an orchard in and we put the geese in there. And the geese killed like 3 or 4 of the trees. Because we didn't know that the orchard had to be fully mature. Because it didn't say that in the book or whatever, we read that. And so all these things with off-grid living, with moving out here, all the challenges, difficulties, you know, losing trees, losing animals, animals getting killed. We've lost several ducks to neighborhood dogs, all this kind of stuff. Our children go through all this as well. So, you know, and our children, they don't have their own bedrooms. They don't have a bunch of toys. They don't have gaming systems. They don't have TVs. They don't have sporting events that they go to. They don't have many friends. They don't have a lot of things that most American children just take for granted. But what my children do have is they have mommy and daddy that love them. And they know it. So that's the crux of what I want to get to. How do they know it? They know it because I chose many years ago to be a student of our children. Be a student, watch them, watch how they react. When words are said, how do they react? When they're hugged, how do they react? When things happen to them, how do they respond and react? Just be a student of them. Watch their body language. Listen to the words that come out of their mouths when this, that, or the other happens. Just be a student of your children. That's one of the major things that I learned. Be intentional. So, on purpose, go out of your way to show them that you love them. You know, and your wife as well. On purpose, go out of your way. Be intentional. Don't just think that you're gonna fall in love, like by accident, like you fell. No, love is a choice. Be intentional about it. You're gonna have to go after their hearts. You're gonna have to win their hearts. You have to win their hearts, men. You have to. And learn what their love languages are and speak their love language. For instance, my wife's love language is service. So when she really wants to show somebody she loves them, she will do acts of service for them. That because if service is done to her, she feels loved by that, very loved. For me, service not so much. She could do all this kind of service for me. She's thinking she's saying I love you, but I don't hear I love you. Mine is encouraging words, mostly though physical touch, affection. If she comes and gives me a hug, if she goes out of her way and comes and gives me a hug, to me she's saying I love you. But to her, that's not a big deal. Like if I go out of my way to give her a hug, it's not a big deal. I just want a hug, she thinks, you know. So I need to know her love language. So when I want to show her I love her, I do acts of service. I'll jump in and do some cleaning. I'll sweep the floors. I'll, you know, take a little chore away from her and do it myself. Things like that. And I know that I'm saying I love you when I do that, and she knows that. So you need to learn the love languages of your children, of your wife, and speak their love language. Don't speak your love language thinking they're hearing I love you. You have to speak their love language for them to hear I love you. Okay? So here's the deal, man. If your wife and your children know that they know that they know that they know that you love them, they will, with you, pick up that bucket, charge the gates of hell. And when they get burned, not if, when they get burned, they will run back for another bucket and do it again. Because they know that you love them. They are willing to do it. They won't get embittered, blame it on you and quit. They'll have at it again. Because you're having at it, and you love them, and they love you, they'll have at it again also. It's amazing. That, I can tell you, is the secret of the success of thousands of roots here on our homestead, and why we still love each other. And it's not just my doing. My wife is intentional as well, and my children are learning to be intentional. Here's what I want to say to you, men. Man up. Be intentional. Be a student of your children and wife, and speak their love language, and you will succeed at keeping your family together. Let's talk to my children and see what they think. Okay. Hey, Esther Pie. What's one thing that I do that shows you that I love you?
Bringing home flowers for me and Mama.
Bringing home flowers for you and Mommy. Yep. I go out of my way to look for that sort of thing, huh? And what's one thing you think I could do better to show you that I love you? Woohoo! Nene Bug. What is one thing I do that shows you that I love you?
Saying encouraging words to me.
Saying encouraging words to you. I go out of my way to look for things that you're doing awesome, or how strong you are, how good looking you are, or any of those kind of things, and I let you know, huh? What's one thing you think I could do better to show you that I love you?
I can't think of anything.
That'll work for me. Okay, hey Joshie. What's one thing that I do that shows you that I love you?
Hug me in the mornings.
Hug you in the mornings. Yep, because physical touch is important to you, huh? Okay, now what's one thing you think I could do better to show you that I love you?
Not really anything.
Wow, that is so cool. Okay. Thank you, love you.
Love you too, Daddy.
All right, Scooter. So what's one thing I do that shows you that I love you?
Well, when you spend time with me and help me with different things I like.
Okay. Boy, and I don't do enough of that, do I?
You do that pretty often.
Okay. Now, what's one thing I could do better to show you that I love you?
Can't really think of any.
Woohoo! That's the best answer ever. Now, I just want to say that I didn't know what they were going to say about what I could be doing better. So, I'm thankful and blessed that they're answering the way they've been answering. Because I didn't coach them on that. I just told them prior to this, here's the 2 questions I'm going to ask you. So, just be honest. So, how thankful am I for that, huh? That's cool. I hope this encourages you. I hope this challenges you. I hope this challenges you to be a better man, a better husband, a better daddy, a better father, and get your inspiration from him. He will show you how to be a better father. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe, and have at it with your whole heart.
She likes getting that nut cream, don't you? You want some more cleaning? Let's clean that up. Clean it up. It feels good to get cleaned up. Here, clean.